money's worth today is 49.83 to a dollar. Over at the Philippine Stock Exchange, local stocks closed higher today, lifted by Wall Street's upturn last week. Elsewhere in Asia, stocks are down on concerns about U.S. bank Citigroup. But they pared down some losses after the U.S. government unveiled a plan to rescue the troubled banking giant, which include a $20 billion stake and guaranteeing billions in assets.
And Ivan, speaking of the peso, many are wondering how long our OFW remittances can keep our currency from further weakening.
Which is understandable, Rhea, considering that companies abroad are downsizing. But should OFWs and their families worry? Here's our resident analyst, Winnie Monsod, with this analysis.
Depending on what figures you use, either 1 in 10 Filipino families or almost 1 in 2 Filipino families benefit from remittances of overseas Filipino workers. According to the National Statistics Office, 1.75 million Filipinos were deployed abroad from April to September of 2007. On the other hand, according to non-government migrant organizations, there are about 8 million Filipino workers abroad. No matter which figure you use, it is natural for the families here to worry about the job security of their workers abroad, given the economic slowdown in most countries. The question, therefore, is, will there be a mass layoff and therefore a large reduction in remittances from these workers? Answer. According to the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, at least for 2008, they see no indication that there is going to be a mass layoff, at least from the point of view of the inflow of dollars, which has not diminished. Now, what other information can we bring to bear on this issue? Well, let's look first at where the Filipino workers are. According to the NSO, 80% of our overseas Filipino workers are in Asia, which is in a much better state than the American and European economies. And of these jobs in Asia, 30% of the 80% are in the Middle East, where business, obviously from oil, is booming. For those not in Asia, but in Europe, for example, and the United States, let's look. In Europe, you're talking about domestic workers whose jobs are relatively safe. Why? Because they are priced and therefore will be the last to go. They are considered necessities more than luxuries. Remember that this malasakit that we as a people always show to our employers, etc., finally will get the reward. The same thing in America. As well as in Europe, there's a lot of workers who are nurses, other medical professions, and as we know, the medical profession is recession-proof. In fact, the demand for the medical profession grows because of stress-related health problems. Actually, the only sector that may be at risk will be the merchant marine or seafarers, because the economic activity slowing down results in slowing down in transport. However, given again how priced the Filipino seafarers are, because again of their malasakit to their employers, I really think they will be the last to be let go. In other words, it's payback time for Filipino workers abroad who really work very hard and show great productivity. And in any case, if they will be let go, the government, apparently, through the Department of Labor and Employment, has already set up programs for their reintegration. Just remember, no issue is too big or too small to affect you. Be informed, ask questions, and together, let's find the answers. Email us. I'm Winnie Monsod, on cue.